Welcome back to Math with Moments with Mrs. Combs. And we're doing adding and subtracting decimal numerals. Because addition and subtraction follow the same rules when you're dealing with decimal numbers. So here's our song. When you're adding decimal numbers, you line up the dots, then bring the decimal down to find the final decimal spot. Sounds pretty simple. And it actually is pretty simple. Let's take a look. There's one more rule here that we'll see starting on the first problem. 2.5 plus 6.36. But there's only a number in the tenths place here, just one number after the decimal. Here we have 36 hundredths. There's two numbers after the decimal. So we're still going to line up the decimals, 2.5 plus 6.36, but we have to fill that empty spot with a 0. Now we can add. 0 plus 6 is 6. 5 plus 3 is 8, and we bring down the decimal. And 2 plus 6 is 8, so the answer is 8.86. Okay, let's look at this one. There's two numbers after the decimal here, and only one there. So we have 9.76 and 3.2. And we fill in a 0. And it's subtraction. Well, 6 minus 0 is 6. 7 minus 2 is 5. And 9 minus 3 is 6. And we bring the decimal down for its final spot of 6.56. Okay. Here we have 8.3. There's only one number after the decimal, but there's 7.68 here. We're subtracting. I fill in with a 0. I'm really going to need the 0 because I can't take 8 from 0. So I have to borrow and make this a 2. But you can't just bring that 8 down because 10 minus 2 is not 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. 2 minus 6, I have to borrow again. 12 minus 6 is 6, bring the decimal down. And 7 minus 7 is 0. So this one is 0.62. Notice that I just borrow one step at a time. You just borrow as you need to borrow. Okay, then we have 12.5 plus, hope I remember that I'm adding, 6.31, and I fill in the 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 5 plus 3 is 8. Bring down the decimal. There's its final spot. 6 plus 2 is 8. And bring down the 1. 18.81. 14. Oh, look at this decimal. 14.7 plus 8 point. I have to line the decimal up. But I have 6, 4, 2, so I'm going to have to fill in 2 zeros this time. And I'm adding. 0 plus 2 is 2. 0 plus 4 is 4. 7 plus 6 is 13. Carry the 1 and bring the decimal down. 8 plus 4 is 12, and 1 is 13. Carry the 1. And our answer is 23.342. All right, now look here. There's not a decimal. How can I line up the decimal? Well, the decimal is always right at the end of the number. If there's a whole number and there's no decimal, not showing a decimal, it's right after it. So we have 20 point and 5.8, and we have to fill in that 0. And we're subtracting. Well, I can't subtract 8 from 0. And I can't borrow from that 0. So I borrow from the 2 and make it a 1, make this a 10, borrow from the 10 and make it a 9. Make this a 10. 10 minus 8 is, once again, 2. Bring down the decimal. 9 minus 5 is 4. and bring down the 1. So 14.2. Okay? We've got a few more here with some larger numbers. We're starting with 372.6. And I line up that decimal, and there's the 5 on this side, and then a 6, 3. Fill in with a 0, I'm subtracting. Well, I have to borrow. So I borrow from the 6 and make it a 5. Then that's a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. Oh, I can't subtract 6 from 5, so I borrow from the 2, make it a 1. 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. Bring down that decimal numeral, decimal dot. 1 minus 5, well, I can't do that. So make this a 6 and this an 11. 11 minus 5 is 6. And 6 minus nothing is 6. And bring down the 3. I got 3, oops, got a dollar sign. 366.97. That one was a little bit different. So this one is 27.52 plus 3 point. So we have to line up the points there. 5, 8, 6, and I fill in a 0. And we're adding. 0 plus 6 is 6. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 1 is 11. Bring down your decimal. 7 plus 3 is 10, and 1 is 11. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. And I got 31.106. Okay. 591.3 minus 27.52. Notice that I've got the decimals lined up, and the decimal's going to be right here in the answer. I just bring it straight down. Oh, I can't borrow. I can't subtract 2 from 0. So I borrow 1 and make this a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. But I can't subtract 5 from 2. So I borrow this and make it a 0. This is now a 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. Oh, I can't subtract 7 from 0, so I make this an 8. And this is now a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. 8 minus 2 is 6. Bring down the 5. Notice that I borrowed as I needed to, but I didn't have to borrow from the 5. Okay, I borrowed each time as a separate action. Okay, 7.5 plus 3.56 and fill in with a 0. Okay, 0 plus 6 is 6. 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1. 7 plus 3 is 10, and 1 is 11, and we bring down the decimal. Straight down. Okay? So that's your lesson and some practice. It's really not very hard. It's just the same as adding numbers, but we have to remember to line up the decimal, and we have to remember to fill in the empty spots with zeros. So here is your song once again. When you're adding decimal numbers, you line up the dots, then bring the decimal down to find the final decimal spot. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, subscribe and share with your friends. Maybe they have something to learn.